Hello! Oh? What is happening? You can't see me? Well, that sucks. Luckily, though, you should be able to see this now. Hey, there he is. There's the guy. There's the one that we wanted to be talking about. Oh, wait, no, we go to this one, which is now done. Oh, cool. Flippin' hell, man. You gotta love this. There he is. I take a week off and it all goes to pot. Not that it was there before. But I'll tell you what, this kind of like perfectly sums up what has been going on in my life recently. Hello everybody and welcome back to Live and Let's Dice live here on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm back after a little week off, rested, relaxed, ready now to chill out further after a full day at work and an early start and so much chaos that's been going on recently. But now I get to chill out with you guys here. And we're going to be doing some fun stuff because we're painting up the Blood Bowl troll today. I don't know if you can see him that well. There he is. All right, mate. Hey, all right, geez. It doesn't help that he's primed black and it's not very good lighting here at the moment. But we're going to be painting him up because I've actually got two that I'm painting up at the moment. And then they kissed because I'm going to a Blood Bowl tournament at the end of August and I want to get them painted up to a high quality because Doug, who is in the chat here, in fact I can probably point to him there, he's painting up the rest of my Blood Bowl team, so I can't let the side down, can I, Doug? I've got to actually try and make sure that I do a good job, don't I? Apologies that I'm running a bit late, but there's just been a lot of stuff that's been going on recently, and as you can tell, kind of tired right there. Look at this old guy. This geezer. It's a bit sleepy, but we'll get into all of that in a minute. First off, hope that you're all well, and thank you very much for joining me here on a Wednesday afternoon, and we're going to have a great old time because, like I say, we're going to be listening to some nice music, we're going to be chilling out, there is going to be zero fuss, zero frills, but maybe some thrills, and at least an 80% chance of gills. Now, before I carry on killsing the comedy, let's move on swiftly and talk about how I've been. Not that you asked, I'll tell you anyway. I took last week off because I went down to Devon to go see my family, did some camping, and it was lovely. We camped out at a lovely little area, and it was the first time taking our like tent and camping equipment down, so it was quite fun to check it all out because we just bought like a load of new gear. And we were living large, I'll put it that way. It was it definitely isn't like the same camping that I remember from when I was a kid. You know, when you've got like 5 to a tent, your bag accidentally touches the side so it gets all wet, absolutely stinks of like damp clothes. None of that in Casa del Kerry and Jules. It was much more high class. We actually had a porch, for an example. We didn't have anything get soaking wet, which definitely helped. And it was just nice. I'm not old, TJ. I'm not saying I'm old. I'm just saying I feel old today. I just feel a bit old today. But I think it's because it's been weirdly enough a really relaxing week. Got to see my family, got to see my grandparents, which was fantastic. And then took Kerry to the zoo, which was great. And we went to the beach. We did loads of fun stuff. But then as soon as I got back, it was like as soon as we got back, it was like the washing machine broke. Like one of Kerry's car, my car, both had issues. I had to take mine for an MOT, and she's just had tons of stuff going wrong with hers. And then it was just like more and more things. Then we had to do like get the gutters cleaned and like book all of that in, and it's just like, ugh. Do you know what I hate more than anything else? Like I don't mind like paying money for good quality items, right? But I hate replacing stuff that you just is an unnecessary expense. Like, replacing a washing machine is quite necessary if you want to have like clean clothes, obviously. But it's just like no one wakes up, stretches, rubs the sleepy dust from their eyes, and says, "Gosh, I can't wait to drop a couple of £100 on a flipping washing machine." But then again, maybe somebody does in the chat. Maybe somebody does. Other plus point is I got to see good old Phil Chambers from What Culture. He came down on Sunday, and we saw him because we went to go see Billy Talent, and that was a cracking gig. It was so much fun, and I had a great catch up. We were just chatting about everything And you know when like you can tell when you've got like a good friend because the time just slips away, even though there are some people that I really enjoy hanging out with and I love them to pieces, but sometimes I'm always like, oh man, maybe the conversation is going to dry up here and there. Like the conversation is good, but it requires some level of effort to maintain. Whereas with Phil, it's just kind of, you can talk about anything, any old tosh. He's having a great old time. But yeah, we're going to be painting today. So I'm going to move straight over to there because I realise I'm running a bit late and I want to actually just like have a little chill time and get involved in that. So we are going to be doing something a bit different. And I know that Crazy Doug is in the chat here because I can see a load of people here. I can see that Lee is here. I can see that Super Armstrong is here with Charlie. I can see TJ is here, obviously. Crazy Doug is here. Count Boro is here. Quoth is here. Paul is here. Hello, girl. How you getting on, man? Naf is here. How's it going, my friend? And I'm just going to get this out of the way. I went and asked Crazy Doug for some help painting this one. This is still ongoing, and I'll switch over to the other camera so you should be able to see it a bit better. Go to this, and then you can see when it decides to focus up, there he is, that we are working with this boy on like wet blending, and I haven't taken it any further than when I went over to Doug's house, but this autofocus is loving it, mate. Weird, it keeps shifting the colour. That's really odd. There's still a lot of work to do with this guy. That's so weird. Why does it keep doing that? Oh, do you think it's because once it gets past a certain... Oh, you know what it is? It goes to a macro lens, doesn't it? So there's clearly something in there. It switches, and they've got like a different colour profile. That's interesting. So yeah, always having fun with tech. I'm going to manually set it so that the colour doesn't keep bugging out. There's a lot to go on this one here, but I want to start practicing. Instead of doing like slap choppy stuff and doing slap chop plus, I want to practice more with doing the heavy metal style. Now this guy here, he is going to be like blue skinned over here, but this guy I want to do pink skin. So we're going to start with a base on all of his exposed flesh over here in Screamer Pink, and then we're going to start working in some... Is it Carrick Stone? Doug, you're in the chat now. Or is it Morghast Bone that I need to be mixing it in? Can't remember if it's one of the two, but luckily I've got enough time to ask you before it goes there. And the best part is that, yes, I'm running 2 trolls in my Blood Bowl team. Now, I know that there are probably quite a fair few people out there that don't play who watch these, but trust me, there is a great hilarity using trolls. But they do come at a cost. They're very strong, but they're very stupid, and you have to roll a dice every single time that you activate them, and on a 1, they basically just lose all focus, and lose the plot, and don't do anything, which is hilarious. And I'm taking 2 of them, so I'm doubling the chances of that going badly. Okay, it's Carrick Stone. Perfect. Thank you, Doug. Right, so while I quickly just fix the... I'm going to fix the perspective, or the... what do I mean? The focus, that's what I mean. I'm going to turn the focus off. I'm going to bring this up to your boy here. And we're just going to force him. Take a look at this. Which way is it going? Is it going the right way? Am I going the right way? Am I going the wrong way? Who knows with this? Ooh, I feel like we're going the right way. Yes. I mean, that looks about right. Don't it, pals? Now that means that I can just paint that kind of down here and then bring him up to show you where we're at each time. Cool. Excellente. So yeah, you might have to put up with a sort of like more hazy focus here, but I always think that that's worth it for when I can actually just show you guys exactly what I'm doing, because half the time if I'm spending every 10 blooming seconds trying to get it to focus, it's not fun for you and not fun for me either. So first off, we're going to start base coating this boy. Hey JRH, good to see you. Oh, I've knocked him over, my boy! Billy Talent are amazing, Super Armstrong, you are totally right. And they had a absolute cracking set as well, because they, and I'm not saying this is like a jaded fan that's like, oh, you know, if you're a band from the early 2010s, then you had your heyday, you should never release new music and just accept the popularity's on the downwards. They only played 3 or 4 songs from their like newer albums, the ones that stopped using the numbering convention and started having like proper names. And I fully appreciated that, because I was there to have a good time, and like I said, I'm a big fan. I've listened to all of their albums, but there are definitely ones that I appreciate more than the newer ones, and they played all of the classics. They played absolute bangers, and they had some really nice deep cuts as well, which I really appreciated, which was good. So it was a fantastic gig. The boys and I had a great time, which is good. Only thing I didn't enjoy though, how much would you say you'd be prepared to pay for a band t-shirt in the year of our Lord 2024? What would be a reasonable price for a... And let's face it, Billy Talent, they're not up there with like Metallica's of the world, you know, they're not a household name in the same sense. So what would you pay for a t-shirt? And again, if they end up watching this video, because clearly they're a huge fan. I'm not bagging on you boys, I'm just saying I was a bit surprised. Hey Nerdy Goth, good to see you, good to see you. Hope that you're well, hope you're having a nice week so far. My troll once interrupted, passed, and then failed every single reason. Oh, that is amazing, Paul. That is exactly the sort of thing that I get them for. They're big boys, they're big dummies, and my lord, am I a big baby when they fail their tests again and again and again. But you love them, because the potential's there. The potential is there, and that's what I like about them, because you could get one troll who is just like, nah, I actually am the meanest, greenest guy around, and I'm going to do the work. I'm going to pull this together for the team. Now, Super Armstrong, 25 to 30 max. JRH is bang on the very serious money. 35 quid for a t-shirt. For a t-shirt! And I saw people there decked out with t-shirts and hoodies. I was like, blimey. And it wasn't for like bad designs and stuff like that. No. It was a bloody lovely design. I can't justify spending 35 bing bang bazinga beans for a blooming t-shirt. Who am I, King of Spain? Nah. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's like, if you want to buy a decent t-shirt, why don't you check out the Live and Let's Dice one, which I've only just realised is slightly cheaper than that, but ain't 35. Is there anything more expensive than YouTuber merch? Well, Warhammer, I guess. But outside of that, I was looking at some of the, let's just say A tier, like Mr. Beast's. I was looking at their merch stores and just wondering who buys that sort of stuff. Who has like a Mr. Beast t-shirt? Like, unironically, I'm gonna wear a Mr. Beast t-shirt. Oh, have you got? Is my favourite Mr. Beast t-shirt out of the wash? I wanna go on a date. Can you make sure that my Mr. Beast branded basketball shorts are clean? Because I really want to impress. Really want to impress when I'm down Nando's later. They were expensive, man. They were expensive. There was one t-shirt that was there that was something like, they marketed it as like a limited edition print run from a tour he did. It was $75. I was just like, and it was like only last few remaining, so I was like, bloody hell, why make the millionaires more money? Let's see who oh, Jessica, how's it going, my friend? How are you? Yeah, it has been a long time. I hope that you're keeping well, my friend. Always love, always love. I'm doing really well, actually. Like I was saying to the gang, I've had a string of just annoyances. You know, when you've just had enough, like things go slightly wrong or just slightly inconvenient, that you're just like, oh god, just my luck, just my luck. Just had one of those. Just a few unforeseen expenses coming out, a few things that have just not gone the way that I've planned them to. But overall, it's had no damper on my positivity. I just go, oh, bloody hell. Bloody hell. Always think to myself, if you've got your health, and I've got what's left of my tiny little rat brain, then I'm doing okay. And if I get to spend 2 hours every single Wednesday chilling out, painting models with friends, then hey, I'll be doing something right, eh? It was nice meeting up with Phil the other day. Kind of made me miss the What Culture crew quite a fair bit, because it's just like you weren't just working with your with colleagues, you know, people that you would just meet occasionally. They were like, some of them were like proper friends. And not saying that I don't have that with the FGS team, far from it. They're all lovely people. We hang out quite a lot. But there's that sense of camaraderie when you've got like the people you came up with, you know. I guess you would call them like your day ones. It's just lovely catching up with them. Most important thing is that Salty the dog is A-OK as well. Phil's, I think, direct quote was, "He's still nervous and still kind of an arsehole." He's doing well. What more can you ask for, eh? Oh, by the way, we should address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about all of the beautiful video game releases that happened to like drop while I was on holiday. Or I was just like minding my own business, chilling at the campsite, getting sporadic internet connection. And I was like, oh yeah, it's the like Bethesda showcase sort of thing. Oh, this is amazing. Maybe they'll have like something good, like maybe one good game. And then I saw that Doom trailer. Oh my, I saw that Doom trailer. I was giddy. Textbook definition of giddy to see that. I laughed my arse off just how over the top and ridiculous it was. And I was like, I can't wait for this. Because Doom Eternal definitely shifted the needle towards a more arcadey approach. And, you know, I think that that's maybe attracted as many fans as it lost. Because Doom 2016 was still very arcadey, but it had a different tone, didn't it? It was like, if Doom 2016 was one thing, then Doom Eternal felt like, what's that game? Like Bulletstorm, you know, where it's someone like chaining stuff together for points. Like if Tony Hawk's was fused with Doom. And this game, this is just getting silly. Doom is fast becoming the Fast and Furious of video game franchises. It's like they've taken the approach of bigger is better and just gone, yeah, it bloody well is. Let's just dial everything up. Who cares if we ain't gonna win any awards for like narrative storytelling? People are gonna be talking about how a gun is reloaded by grinding a skull into it. Like, people are gonna be talking about that for a long old while. Is that a work colleague? Yeah, they are like family sometimes, Jessica, and it's just lovely, isn't it? It's just, if you can get that right group of people who support you through thick and thin, then it's just fantastic. And the best part is that you know you've got good friends if you can disagree with them about stuff, but they don't take it as like, well, can't see eye to eye on that, guess we're not friends. Like, I don't know how many times that I've had colleagues in the past from other companies who've had a slight disagreement with them, and I'm talking pettily slight, and that's like, that's it, that's the end of our working relationship. Like, I'll see you in the corridor, and maybe for Christmas I'll nod at your general direction, that sort of thing. Whereas this is just kind of like, nah mate, your opinion's shit on that one there, so that you got a terrible taste in music, and then it's like, funny. I think it was the first time that I remember opening up about Dynasty Warriors and knowing that it's not like a primo video game franchise. It's like bottom of the barrel, turn your brain off, hit a load of buttons, hit a load of people. And I remember telling the gang that, and instead of most people just like, oh yeah, that's utter garbage, you should feel bad for playing that type of game, hit yourself on FIFA instead, blah blah blah. But instead they were just like, oh yeah, that's like a gaming guilty pleasure. We've all got them, boys. Yeah, the cost of the hoodie probably was, man. Ah, my Live and Let's Dice jumper has become cozy clothing to wear around the house. See, that is lovely. That is really lovely. I'm just happy as well that it actually is like a decent quality merch, because I believe that was done through the hoodies and stuff are done through Spring. Yes, Teespring, whatever they call themselves nowadays. And sometimes, depending on whether you get them from the US or the European store, the quality I've heard is quite hit and miss. I think that the US store is much better. Even with a large base brush, or sorry, a base brush, this troll skin just sucks up the paint, I tell you. Am I getting the new Dynasty Warriors game? Come on, TJ. Come on, TJ. Come on, TJ. Ask yourself that. You asking me that? Yeah, I probably will, mate. I'm going to try and get in touch with the devs and see if I can do any sort of like preview coverage for it, but they are actually quite a cagey group to get to. I'll get review copies from them. They often don't send them out in advance, and usually that's a sign that the game is pretty bad. And I won't lie. The last game that I actually got through them was Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. And that game, hoo boy, please sir, take your skip of smelly garbage away from my house. What's that? It's installed on my computer. Oh dear. Absolute stinky gubbins, mate. And I wanted to like it so much. I really did. I wanted to just be there like, you know what? It's got the Dynasty Warriors combat that I like, with a little bit of like overarching strategy game that kind of makes it a weird pseudo 4X title. Come on, you can do it. It can be good. Oh no! The bed! You've done pooped in it. How embarrassing for you. In fact, I just think that it was one of those games where I was like, nah. Nicked for me. Dankeschön. Give him a nice, healthy British sunburn is what we're doing at the moment. Nice pink belly. Slap his belly. Ooh. Ooh. Should have put some factor 50 on it, brother. That's on you. Anyone else in the chat burn like absolute nobody's business as soon as the sun hits them? I am of the... I swear that my family lineage was comprised at one point of porcelain Victorian dolls, because I burn so quickly, so easily as well. And it's just like, come on, guy. I love being outside. I do tons of like walking and climbing. I want to be outside all the time. Just let me be. I think if I went and like, say I moved country, went somewhere like Spain or over to America, I think I'd just die. I think I'd die. We'd be burned 24/7. No amount of SPF seems to protect me as well. Put on factor 50. I go out there looking like I've just gone bloody 10 rounds with Mr. Whippy at some point. But nah. That's it. Get his leg. Get it. I'm painting right up into his cheeky thigh there. I'm getting a bit personal. The Live and Let's Dice has faded a bit, and I'm in the UK. But to be fair, I'm a bit... Oh, bless you. Bless you, super. You truly are super. Hey, Jules, what the dickens are you painting? A Blood Bowl character, Tofu Teeth, also known as Richly. Actually, we were talking about t-shirt designs and about quality stuff, and then, lo and behold, the man who created the amazing new Live and Let's Dice artwork, which is the Doom Skull, and we were talking about Doom as well, so it all feeds in. Popped in to say hi. Richie Lee is a fantastic painter, lovely friend as well, good boy all round. And he at the moment is painting up a glorious looking White Scars army for the Horus Heresy. So there's a lot of clean lines going on. Like, it's my least favourite type of army, one that requires you to be precise and clean. Like, for those who are into the Age of Sigmar persuasion, the Lumineth are probably my least favourite army ever, because even though they look utterly fantastic and their models are really expressive and super cool, the requirement to paint them so precise with whites, pure blues and lovely golds is just like, no, I can't do that. I am nowhere near patient, nor skilled, nor delicate enough to do that. Why? What? Doug's laughing, which means that is it because he painted loads of elves back in the day? Ah, look at that! Look at how pink he is. My beautiful pink boy. It is funny though that this sort of stage of blocking out one colour as a base. If I was doing it the slap chop way, I would have already dry brushed him at this point, and I would probably be putting on my first layer of contrast paint. And the model probably would be battle ready by the end of this session. But because we're going to take time with this boy, it's going to be a slow progress one. So it'll be next week, we'll be doing more on the skin. Third week even, we might be doing more on the skin. Like, I want this to look good. My only worry is that can I get 2 of them done to a high quality before the match is on? I mean, I don't think like GW, for all of its teasing about what's coming up around the horizon, I've pretty much hit my jackpot with the armies, because they did the orcs pretty early on. I painted up a shed load of orcs, as you might be able to see on the channel. I have enough marines to last me a lifetime. I've still got some of the Leviathan box to paint up, so I'll probably get onto them at some point. And apart from that, it's really only the Chaos Knights that I want to see what GW's got in plan for them, because they've been pretty, not stingy, but they've been careful with the releases for a few of these armies. Like, they've just done one model, one character, and a huge rules refresh for them. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with the Chaos Knights, if they even get a new character at all, or I don't even know what the army would need. You know? It's quite funny. We were over at Doug's house the other day when I was painting up the skin, and I said to Doug, there's something a bit off with this model. Like, I can't put my finger on it. Like, there's something not quite right. And without missing a beat, he was just like, yeah, it's just a model that you cannot take a good photo of, because he's covering his face here. He's got such a weird dynamic pose that you want to show off the goblin here, but if you show off the goblin there, he's covering his face entirely with his hand. If you turn him from this way here, it doesn't look right because he's looking too straight on, so you miss all the detail that's on, like, the number plate and all the other stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, it is like a really dynamic model, and it does look cool in person. Yeah, taking a photo of it. Oh, White Scars. You worked on the Deepkin. Oh, again, you have to be very precise with them. With dem elves. Just can't hack it, man. The idea of having to be so tidy and clean. Like, if my model doesn't involve at some point in its painting a huge dose of, like, Agrax Earthshade, or something that I can add a rusty effect on with. I'm just kind of like, what am I even doing here? Like, painting Marines is too clean for me. I'm just like, ugh. I was saying that there's a whole box of Death Guard. Because Richie, I don't know if you know this, I got Berkey's Death Guard. So I'm painting them up very slowly. I've got about 1,000 points that's been painted up and converted. So I'm just kind of adding colour and textured mosses and flowers and stuff onto them so that they are still his stinky swampy boys, but then you can like easily identify which one's which. Like the Death Shroud Terminator's got big bright red cloaks that are peering out through the mire. Yeah, I probably should paint a bit more of them up. I feel like have they been given like a roadmap for the Death Guard? Because I think that we're at the end of the first teased waves of codexes for 10th edition. Because the last ones that came out were something and something after the orcs. Deepkin have some fantastically mad designs, to be fair to the air designs. Yeah, they really do. I definitely don't need to be clean there, JRH. I get dirty. I get down in it. In the trenches, in the swamp. And it is lovely. My favourite part, though, was it allowed me to experiment using Yoo-hoo glue as like spittle, vomit, acid, just anything that dripped and oozed. I was able to play around with that. So my Terminators with their plague spewers, they've all got like gunk coming out of the nozzle and dripping down onto the floor, and it's an army that you can really play with materials. I feel like they might not have the most interesting paint scheme going if you to paint them traditionally, but I absolutely adore just getting crazy with the mud and right down in it. Oh my god, it's taking so long. And then, if memory serves, I've got to darken down a darker version of... I've got to darken down that Screamer Pink into a wash, and then go over all of the model into the recesses, the recess shade, in order to really darken down the skin colours. Then I've got to go back, excuse me, with Screamer Pink once more to bring the flesh back up to the pinky colour. Then we get to add in the fun stuff, which is adding in Carrick Stone, which is going to be his belly welly colour. His little tummy. Oh, his little tummy. He's got a grumbly tum, our big lad. With the pink as well. It's like it soaks into the model so quickly that I can't tell if it's being coloured well or needs a lot more. Hey, Christopher Steves, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you, buddy boy. How are you? Just chilling out, playing. Yeah. I got the Death Guard because it was he was selling them off for mega cheap, and it ended up being about I mean, what was in the box? It was like 60 Poxwalkers, about the same number of Plague Marines, 3 Predators, 2 Chaos Knight Armigers, Warhounds, War Dogs, whatever they're called. Like tons of Terminators, tons of Light Lord Terminators as well. Pretty much every character has existed for the game, for the Death Guard as well, including the newer Lord of Virulence one. So yeah, it was like, if you buy this, you not only have a army that is ready to go straight out of the box, but you have like pretty much every army and a potential few cheesy ones if you were looking for like the min-max things, because he's got he had 3 blight all crawlers as well. Is that the ones, the big burster mortar cannon ones? He had loads of them. Oh, and he had what are they called? Mephitic blight crawlers. They've got like the mouth on the front, and they drive all across the floor, and they look like tiny little angry, chewy vehicles. He had 9 of them, and the bloat drones, I think he had 9 of them too. So I could run, in theory, a full bloat drone maxed out thing there, and I don't know how good they are in the game, but it does seem like it could be a very fun list to run in the future, where it's just skewed so heavily towards these flying monstrosities, with all of them have got like flesh mowers on as well. Fun fact, during R&D on the Deepkin, we may have gone to the aquarium a few times. I like that. You can write it off as a business expense then, can't you? It's like, yeah, we're just looking at the fish for research, yeah. Surprised you didn't try and put fish and chips on as a business expense. We had to get into the mind of these people here. We figured that there was no better way of doing that than a battered sausage. So, Doug, you designed a fair, or you were with the design team for a fair amount of early AOS. Did you play much back in the day on that? Or were you always just like, nah, I just want to be part of the art side of it? Oh, here's a question. Does he have a glove on? No, he do not. So that's a whole hand that I nearly just missed out. Right, well, we're nearly done with one colour. He's a big boy indeed. He's got a lot of nooks and crannies. But yes, for those wondering about the tactics that I'll be bringing to the table when I play Blood Bowl as the Goblins, I will of course be trying to pick up my Doom Diver and throwing him with the Troll. Now, this has the potential to be a turn 1 or 1 turn touchdown, but it requires so many lucky dice rolls to pull off that it's definitely not impossible, because people do it a fair amount, but the odds are stacked very heavily against you. I believe that for the first thing you have to roll a dice for is to make sure that the Troll can activate in the first place. It's called a really stupid test, and if he rolls a 1, there's absolutely nothing whatsoever, because he basically forgets where he is, what he's doing, and whose side he's actually on. Now, on the next test I've got to do is to see whether or not the Goblin who would be carrying the ball is able to be picked up by the Troll without being eaten. He's going to roll for that. Then the Troll's got to pick his square that he's going to throw the Goblin to, and make another roll, see if he does a decent pass. Now, there's a good chance that he'll fumble that, or have an inaccurate pass, because it's so far away. But let's just say that he does do that. He then throws the Goblin, who sails through the air, and then you've got to guide the Goblin, because of the fact that he's got like little wings, because he's a Doom Diver. And you've got to roll the dice to determine which square he lands in, but I think that the Doom Diver's ability is that he can re-roll one of those dice, or it means that he goes one further to make the next stage a little bit easier. Then I believe you've got to roll for the landing of the Goblin, because obviously he could crash and burn to the floor. And then you've got to run across the line, which I believe requires 2 other tests called Go For It tests, which is where you move 1 square more than your usual normal max allowance, and there is potential, so much potential, for it to go horribly, horribly wrong. So when you compound all of those different dice rolls, there is a very high chance that you are not making it up the field with that ball. But I will bloomin' well try it every match without fail. Because as goblins, I'm going to have a very tough time. They are ranked one of the worst teams in the game. But that's not to say that they can't be played well. So I just need to really knuckle down. Get a few games in before the tournament. And prove to you and myself I am secretly a good goblin player. Right, I think I've done all of his skin with at least one coat. I'm just having a quick scan off camera to make sure that I'm happy with bits I've done. Doesn't matter too much at the moment because we'll be darkening it down to lighten it back up again anyway, but it's always good to make sure you've got at least one solid coat on. I mean, I think this looks okay. Doug, what should I do for thinning it down to use as a recess shade? Should I be mixing the Screamer pink with like a dark brown? Or should I... because I don't think I've got a darker pink than Screamer pink. Should I be using a purple? Excuse me, I apologize to keep coughing. I've got quite a dry throat for some reason. Maybe I'm ill. Maybe I'm ill. So you can only game after work or during lunch, or if the game devs want to work on something. That's bizarre. You would have thought that they would have let you game during office hours to be like, hey, cool, it's the hobby that we're all invested in. Splash up puce. Splash up puce. Mandelbrot, hello my friend, good to see you. Guardian, how's it going, brother? Good to see you, thank you for joining. I guess I have Crazy Doug to thank for my favourite AOS army. Whoa, you're in deep with the deepkin. Screamer Pink and Dryad Brown or Rhinox. Okay, let's go and have a quick look. Because I think that he's covered. I can't see any huge splotches of black that I've missed here, unless my eyes are deceiving me, and that could always be the case, friends. Never ever trust Jules Guild's eyes. If he says, I see, then there's a good chance he does not see. He's just maintaining face. I did spot one bit that I'd missed, and it was the back of this big Chumbawamba's ear. As it stands, I think we are now ready to go on to the next stage, which is... yes. Ooh. Get excited, friends. For it is time to do a recess wash. Ooh, can I get some oohs in the chat for how sumptuous this is going to be? As I search desperately my Rhinox hide, and I should have put it back in the right area, but for some reason I decided to be lazy and not put all of my coloured paints back in coloured order that I usually do, because I'm sad. So instead, I'm searching, rummaging, some would say. No, I don't want the steel drab, don't want the drab, no drab for me, thank you. Give me that Rhinox side, where are you? Rhinoxy bastard. I know you're around here somewhere, so don't even try and pretend like you don't exist. I've got your number, pal, and when I find you, oh, you're gonna feel real silly. Well, he's evaded me so far, to the third drawer, and as you can tell, my voice is getting a little bit worried. Aha, I found you, I knew you would, you bastard. I knew that I'd get it. I knew that I'd get it. I guess that kind of makes sense, Doug. Yeah, he's a busy boy. He's a busy boy. Speaking of Dove, how's your week been? Been up to much? Oh, that was way too much round-up tide, but that's okay. That's okay. So now we take this, we mix it 50-50 with the Screamer Pink. 50-50. And then we're going to get it nice and watered down. Watership down, my friends. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, brother. A mighty fine pink-brown paste we have made. Mighty fine indeed. Yes, quite. I know you can't see it, but I can. Trust me, it's delightful. Yes, right? Oh yeah. This will do nicely. Right. And now we have the fun job of basically just dousing this mouse. Painting all around there into his little belly button. Why not? So why am I doing this with a base brush? I'm a crazy fool, a crazy ass fool. What was I even thinking just then? I was just like, how am I going to get into the details of that? Get it nice and watered down there, champ. Take that, you tiny thing of paint. That'll teach you to mess with me. Probably need to make this a bit darker, to be honest. I don't know, I feel like that's not dark enough. Let's try and go a little bit dark. Okay, right, let's try. Yes, okay, they're getting a little better. Probably don't need even this brush. I need a medium or small layer brush. There we go. I do find this part oddly relaxing because I don't know, with a lot of my other models, I'm just slapping a ton of like either Agrax, Earthshade, or something just like right down there. With this, you got to be, I don't know, just a bit more careful in some areas. And I quite like that it's subtle as well. Creates that nice little recess shade. Stinky brown. Makes my troll look all dirty, like he's a dirty geezer. He's a right dirty geezer, mate. Who's this then? Cheesy Sauce, what a great name. Alright, Eggfather, spawn a slime cheese salutation. Thanks for the slathering things in pigment. Now, you are more than welcome. But you know what? Let's not have any other doubt, chat. Let's not say that we're plebeians. We're all legends, mate. The biggest of ledges. Peering over even the abyss into a glorious future. Glorious future filled with Warhammer. or in this case, Blood Bowl, the jokey cousin of Warhammer. I do absolutely adore Blood Bowl because you've got obviously the 40k fanatics, AOS diehards, and they're all just like, my lore is so grim. No, my lore is so grim. Well, in my lore, somebody is stuck on a perpetual throne of agony for the rest of his life and beyond. Oh my god. Well, you know what? My art has a lord of death who inverts your life so that you have eternal suffering in a weird, paradoxical life forever. The warp. And then you go to Blood Bowl, and it's just kind of like, yeah, all of the groups just kind of tolerate each other and just have a good old kickabout. It's kind of like the Mario Party or Mario Kart for Warhammer. I'm not gonna lie though, I'd love it if somebody made a kart racer out of the 40k universe. Skitari, just like crawling along on like the weird the dune crawlers. You've got the Primaris, like you could have one on a bike, you could have one in like a rhino. Who else would be good? Oh, the what's it called? The orcs would have their trucks or bikes. They'd be fantastic. Or the Deathcopter. Yeah, I mean the closest that we'll get to that is Speed Freaks, which is a phenomenal game. If you've not played it or seen it, we did a live stream of it a couple of weeks ago, and it is a bloody blast to play. Kind of like if you're looking for a game that's similar in some ways to likes of Carmageddon, Vigilante 8, or Cell Shaded. Remember that? Cell Damage, sorry. That is the one. That one. Maybe you straight run. Or you think it's too light, do you? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Fine. Was there not? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there not a standalone Eldar bike racing board game? Am I going mad? Am I going mad? Christopher Steve says, hey, this is how he talks away. Hey Jules, have you tried Blood Bowl 3 on PS5? I just found out I can get it for free with PS Premium, but I'd rather get it for computer if it doesn't play well. I don't know if it plays well for PS5 because I too have it just for PFC. And, you know, it's a game that is fine. It is a game that exists with the current rule set of Blood Bowl 3, and I just don't like the fact that we are now well over a year since the game launched, and we still don't have key teams that were present in Blood Bowl 2. Like, Cyanide Studio uses the Goblin as a mascot for their game. It features in every single piece of promotional material, and yet we do not have the Goblin team playable in the bloody game. Even though we have Goblins in 3 other, maybe 4, 3 other teams. Like, you are teasing at this point. No, Lawson, the only bike I shall ride is one to hell with you in the sidecar. How's it going, brother? Hope you had a nice day. I don't know, Dougie boy. Is this to does the brown work? It's so weird, isn't it? That it just changes the colour when I get closer. I don't know, mate. Feels like maybe it could be even darker than the Brune, but I'm gonna keep cracking ahead with it, because I'd rather it be consistent. Warhammer Kart Racer would be awesome, especially if you mash together the fancy and 40k dwarven gyrocopters against the battle wagons. Oh, that would be good. I mean, sorry, the fantasy battle orc gyrocopter. You wouldn't ride to hell. Yeah, it's very true. But yeah, burnt alive. But like, boy, Satan. Pass us the factor 50, and also a hat, please. My bonce is too warm. And then he would be like, "Get out of hell, you! Get out of hell! The light reflecting off of your dome is increasing the temperature beyond health and safety standards. I got the bloody bureau up my arse because of you. All they're talking about now is when old Boldo, Shino Boldo, is going to be leaving. So sling your hook, you bloody lubricated twat. Get out of here. And take that tall glass of sexy with you." And then that's when he gestures to you, Lawson. And knowing you, Lawson, because you do love the crack as much as you love busting chops, you probably look the devil square in the eye and say, "Make me." You'd give you a free pass out of hell, and you'd make him work for it. You'd make him beg you to do it. JRH, man, you would love it. It's so fun. And I believe that it is free to play. As Christopher Seeds would say. Yeah, it's free to play, or is meant to be. The only reason I say that, I don't know that with an authority, but it's like when they did the second beta, it had a battle pass system, and admittedly Blood Bowl 3 also charged money and then also had a battle pass style system, so it could well not be free to play. But the devs seem like the sorts to just be real nice. I don't know, I'm just getting a good vibe off of them. And that statement may come and bite me back in the arse, but right now I can see that they are just looking to build a community. They're looking to get people playing, and it's just good. Years of Doom has conditioned me to demand the blood of demons. I don't doubt that for a second. I just imagine all I'd hear as I was chatting to Satan, just as I meekly try and convince him to let me go, it's just the cocking of a shotgun. And I'm just like, I'm sorry about him. He does this every time we come in. But I also like to think that you've got the Doom soundtrack playing, but it's not out loud. So it's just, you can just catch a bit of it through the speaker on your phone as you're like doing a rampage. Or it's not even that you can hear a garbled sort of like coming from just your AirPods as you storm through. It's going to be weird to hear the soundtrack to this new Doom game and have it not be Mick Gordon. I feel like it happens once in a blue moon that somebody who isn't the director of a game becomes such a sort of beloved figurehead and almost like a marketing aspect for it. And to not have him there and to still have the spectre of what happened to him with Doom Eternal hanging over, it's going to be interesting to see how people react to that. I do love as well that after that whole kerfuffle with what was going on with him, his next project that he worked on was weirdly that Bring Me the Horizon song for post-humanism, something like that. It's like a little EP that they released during the lockdown, and it was an absolute belter. So good. I always find myself in a weird situation with Bring Me the Horizon. Like, I detest their first two albums. because it's just noiseless screamo try-hardiness for me. But I bloody loved that Sempiternal album because it just hit that beautiful sweet spot. I was like, at that point in time, I was a huge Thrice fan. It felt like it was their version of Visu. I was just like, oh, this is fucking banging. This is so good. We've got some actual concepts going on here. We've got heaviness. There's actual progression I can understand. There's bloody melody occasionally. And then they just kind of went towards that electronic sound that a lot of bands do, and I can't fault them for that. Like, it suited them really well on that EP that I was just talking about. But this new one that they've put out, I can't figure out if I like it or find it intensely too young for me, you know what I mean? I feel like it's just one of those things where it's embarrassing. Like, your da should not be listening to the same music as you. Like, it makes me feel... Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just them being super immature, because it's like all of the song titles have that whole capitalized, non-capitalized lettering scheme, where it's like, I know you are, but what am I? So things like... And Ollie Sykes, man, he's an interesting soul. His lyrical prowess is... Whew. Bad, man. Make love to a chainsaw. How'd you come up with that by yourself, Ollie? Do you actually think that yourself? That's amazing. That's amazing, mate. Well done. No one's ever thought like that before. Sure. Bloody hell. Tell you what. Wordsworth isn't like rolling in his grave. He's moving out of the way so you can take his place as one of the greats. Yeah, unfortunately, that is it a South Park episode where they listen to all the music and it just sounds absolutely awful? I feel like that's just happening to me. But I try at every opportunity to listen to new music, to give a chance to new upcoming bands. And while it may be 1 in 50 bands that I'm just like, yeah, this is actually okay, I'm trying my best. Don't write them all off. It's like, even though I can't understand the hype, Taylor Swift's got a few bangers, you know what I'm saying? That's it, tween wave. But then again, I listen to absolute Mad Hatter stuff sometimes. Like, I legitimately adore the new Clowncore stuff that they've been putting out. It's fantastic. But you put that on in a civilized space, and you'd be told to leave and put your shirt back on. It's like Lawson introduced me to the wonders that were Petrol Bastard. Just beautiful. Beautiful music that soothes the soul. But yet, to anyone who's not on that wavelength, would sound like nails on a chalkboard while experiencing a ketamine come down. Just... Oh, speaking of covers, there are some real bad ones out there when metal bands decide to go for, like, yeah, let's try and hop on the mainstream and cover one of them. Do you remember that there was one Gangsta's Paradise, a cover of that? I think it was done by... Is that by Falling in Reverse as well? Because we were talking about them earlier. Me and Lawson and Mikey and Beanie. Yeah, they are. Urge. Oh, my recess shade. Oh, made him look like he's pooed himself. Always remembering the important quote. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now, what I'm with isn't it, and what it seems is weird, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you too. Yeah. That is, unfortunately, very true. back in the day, I remember I saw Final Fantasy VIII, not even the best looking Final Fantasy game, and I said, graphics will never get better than this. I don't know if you know this about me, guys, but I'm not occasionally wrong. I'm a bastion of correct. The truths, as we call them. Duels with the truths. Believe it or not, I was wrong about that. I was wrong about that. God. Who could have seen that coming, eh? Not me, because I thought that, what was her name? Quistis? That pixelized face. God, most beautiful thing in the world. Pixie Wolf, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Hope you're well. You join us as we are taking a model that I've spent maybe 40 minutes painting pink, and I'm now painting brown into the recesses, so that later on, when I start putting on the highlights, it'll look like it all blends together. Oh, hooray! It's me, Terry Funk. I should have taken the money. Anyone be watching the wrestling recently? It was, I'll tell you what, bloody surprise of my life. Last night, I was sitting in bed just chilling out, and then all of a sudden, bloody Joe Hendry appears on NXT. Cool. I believe in Joe Hendry. That guy, he has worked his bloomin' butt off. Now, if you don't remember who Joe Hendry is, you may know him from wrestling in the much loved, much forgotten, poorly run WCBW as a brilliant talent there. But also, he was on the What Culture Gaming channel a fair bit as well, because he would come in and do like a few lists with us. He also is the person that chopped the ever-loving piss out of me on one of the most viewed videos on the channel. It was when I did the 10 optional super bosses that will destroy you. And I said, like, because I knew he was coming in, I was like, I want to film a skit with you, man. I want to do something. I was like, how can I tie in directly that you are a wrestler and do that? And I was like, I know, I'll just take a chop. I'll just take a bloomin' chop from him. And I knew it would hurt. I am no fool. I am sometimes a fool, but I knew that it was going to sting, hurt, give me the big owies. But I was not prepared for it to knock the wind out of me to such an extent that I, after filming the scene with him, had to sit down on the floor and catch my breath. Like, had to properly focus on regulating my breathing because he'd knocked the ability to breathe properly out of me, where I was just like, oh, I know air should be going in, but my body is not taking in air. Yeah, that was fun. Yep, just absolutely just died for a few seconds. It was quite alarming. And bless Joe. Consummate professional, always in character, which is a bit like, oh bloody hell. have I bloody hurt you? I was like, no, I'm okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good, dude. We're fine, dude. We're fine. Right, okay, so now we're down to... I've done all of the recesses that I can see. So what I'm going to do now is do just a little bit of... extra glazy. Give me a bit of a thicker area to work with. When I come back to it, I can chip in. So Dougie taught me how to do glazing properly as well, which is very kind of him. Now, I'm not saying that in a cocky way like I've mastered it. He's told me how to do it. I'm just trying to follow the principles of what he set down. Good old Doug. Our friend Doug. Tell you what, if I can get this guy looking even 30 to 20% as good as one of Doug's models, Well. Well. That's all I'll say, just well. A man with 3 wells, what can I say? Breathing isn't important, yeah. Guardians in, it is 10 optional super bosses that utterly destroyed you. Do you know what, though? Because what's happening is because I'm stepping away from the channel like more and more with each year. I'm down to just doing 2 voiceovers a week and the Choose Your Own Adventure. Like, I think that they're getting Jess to basically re-record a lot of my content, so it basically removes the backlog of just here's all the Jewel stuff. And there's a bit of sadness about that because it's like my visual portfolio is being somewhat maybe diminished over the years, but it's probably important that somebody who is a full-time staff member gets the chance to be representative of what culture for those things there. It's quite funny though that if she left and if the other people that are doing the sort of retakes or redos, because they're rewriting a lot of them as well, then it's like, is this just going to be the same 200 ideas or so repeated perpetually? Who knows? Who knows? Yep, just stop breathing. Yep. Okay, so he's looking nice. He's looking very pink. He's looking very pink. And now, thanks to my amazing abilities, very brown. Now, Doug, if you're still in the chat, is the next stage to go back over with the Screamer Pink? Or is it that we start adding in 50-50 Screamer Pink and Carrick Stone, the Tummy Wummy? The little belly welly. Can't remember which one it is now. I don't remember. I don't remember at all. Because we will get him looking good. We're getting there with this one. We can just repeat the processes. We'll end up with a really nice looking skin. Then we'll have 2 guys of contrasting colours. Blue skin on this one, pink skin on this one. Look at that. Little brothers. Oh, I love you, I love you. I love you too. Let's touch feet. Interlocking feet. That's true love. True love. JRH, no, I'm still doing freelance for them. Still doing the Choose Your Own Adventure every week with Sai as the editor for that. And then I've got 2 voiceovers that just go out on that one as well. Although, I do think that some of my older content gets republished on the main and horror channels, maybe? Question mark. Ideally, I hope that doesn't happen soon, and I can just kind of just focus on gaming. I think that it was looking back at it, probably one of the hardest things was splitting across so many different channels, trying to stay abreast of what was going on with that. So yeah, kind of glad to be focusing on just one thing. Oh, I don't know. Let me just go over to my heavy metal guide. I'm just going to double check something. Because actually, I'm going to put this into the chat because I believe that this would be very helpful for most people. What I'm about to link into the stream here is called the Evi Archive, and if you click on that, it has taken you to Space Marines, but you don't need to go to that. You can just click back to 40k or to the home page, and what it will do is you can type in the model or the faction that you're looking for, and they come up with the Heavy Metal Team's Guide on how you do it, like the paints and 1 or 2 pictures to show you the steps of how you're meant to get there. So I'm going to type in Troggoth, is that what it's called? Rockgut Troggoth, that's it. Let's see how they've done the skin here. So it's base coat, shade, base coat and dark reaper, highlight, progressively add more Carrick Stone to the base coat. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll do 2-to-1 with Screamer Pink on here, 2-to-1, and then we'll add in 1 blob of Carrick Stone Ooh. My carrick stone just leaked everywhere and nearly got all over my PC. I guess the lid was not on properly there. 2 seconds, gang. I've made a right mess. There we go. Ugh. 1 of carrick stone. Make sure the lid is closed, my friends. Right, let's mix this all together into a horrible looking paste. Oh, it's so disgusting. Oh, gross. Mr. Frodo. So grim, Mr. Frodo. Aye, but it looks nice. And then we're going to water that down. Give a nice milky consistency. And we'll go there. And then we can start applying this slightly lighter coat. Even the recesses. Probably a bit too thick. Water that down some more. Because we don't want to have a huge... want it to be quite watery so that then dries. Glaze, it probably should move over to a bigger brush actually. Don't want to go over the areas too much because then you'll get bubbles, bro. We don't want no bubbles, bro. Ah, love from up above. How's it going, my friend? And thank you very much for the kind words. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's find a different brush. Medium. Hello, Silvers. He's bloody back. It's the one and only Janko. Watch out, boys. Janko's here. Watch out. Bloody hell. Stop clowning around. Janko's here, mate. Gotta act tough. Janko's here. At the moment, my friend, we are glazing. Getting our glaze on. Some troll skin. It's delightful. Delicious. All we're doing here is we're just hitting a nice coat onto the big raised areas, trying to avoid going super into the shadows just yet. It's one of those things where it's the first stage always looks pretty bad. At the moment, I am painting a Blood Bowl troll, which is going to be used in an upcoming tournament that me and a few friends are going to, being hosted by one of our mates up in Birmingham. Bit of hair on his belly. Get at it. And we want this to be like as thin as possible that we can get away with, because we're going to be doing maybe like 3 or 4 coats of this. Just slowly build it back up. And then his belly is going to have a much lighter tone than this. Take it easy, Quoth. Big love to you. Glazing and glazing. You are totally right, my man. Have you been, Jenks? with this glazing technique, you may not even see much of a difference to start with. But it builds, it builds. My biggest problem with painting, though, is that I have a nasty habit of just going straight back over the area that I've just painted before the top layer is dried properly. Gotta learn to stop doing that, because you end up with nasty streaks and bubbles and blotches. No fun. That's it, get it nice and thin down. Ooh, I do like the look of Marvel Crisis Protocol. I've seen a few people painting and playing it. It looks very good. The only thing that puts me off, and this is rich coming from somebody who plays a lot of Warhammer. Yeah, boys, the terrain is bloody expensive, isn't it? For like 2 cars and a lamppost, it's like 60 quid. It's like, what is going on? See, I think that is too much. It needs to be so thin. Thinnest paint around. It's okay, we can let that dry for a bit. So I don't know how Doug does it. He has, I guess, had years of practice, but he would cruise through something like this and just know exactly which areas to hit and how much intensity to put on it, or where to pull back, where to push the paint to if it's pooling in one area. And go, oh, okay, cool, I can fix this. Whereas with me, I'm still kind of getting my head around concept of just going over the same area again with different pressures, different just keeping it as watered down as much. It feels so weird to have it so watery, and yet that is exactly what I need to just wrap my head around. In some areas it doesn't even feel like you're putting on a layer of paint. Then when it dries you're like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. At the end of it, we'll have a sexy troll boy. That is a good point, actually. Building your own terrain is just satisfying as well. Doug at the moment is building a huge board for a project that he's been working on for absolutely ages. And we get to see snippets every once in a while of what he's making. And it's just like, bloody hell. Okay, we're building up a semi-solid color over here. Okay, let's get the more water on this. Let's get it nice and all watery again. Hey Joey, how's it going, my friend? Good to see ya. Let's see then. So we've done this bit. Probably get a bit more onto that saucy ankle. Oh my. There is a supreme sense of satisfaction to doing this, though. That it's like when you can see the slight transitions hit, like, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. I always think that if I can get good at doing it this way, and that means I can always just like bust it out whenever I want to really take my time on a character or single model. Ain't no way in hell that I would be doing this my rank and file. No way. But for a single guy, or in this case 2 pair of trolls, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, do you now? Ah, that's really cool. Now, how long have you been doing that for? You stop motion animation. Such a clever art form. And after watching the making of the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio, just the amount of effort that goes into it is incredible. Mr. Troll and its pinky skin. Joey, what did I think about the Dragon Age reveal trailer? Do you know what? Not actually seen it yet. What's the game in question? I have been overwhelmed with a ton of other video game trailers that have dropped recently. I also had the time of my life watching that Nintendo Switch Direct thing. That was lovely. In a sea of kind of somewhat public-facing press release stuff like that, it was amazing to see how many people were getting excited about so many of the games that were unveiled there. Oh, that's awesome. Veilguard. I mean, I actually didn't play... What was the one before this? Is it Inquisition? Just never got around to it. It's one of those things where it looked like my sort of game. Looked like have a great time playing it. Just never found the time. I think I told you guys before, it's like there are certain games now that I'm just taking as like my personal games, because I can only afford to stream like 2 hours a week, and I will say this, that I get a lot more out of painting on the streams because I feel a lot less under pressure, because I was always in the back of my mind, even when I was having a great time playing the game in question, I was always thinking to myself, when am I actually going to finish this? Unless it's like a 6-hour game and it's done across a couple of sessions, I'm only doing this for 2 hours. And because of the churn of new games coming out, I was like, well, the audience isn't going to want to watch me play, I don't know, like, well, Rogue Trader is a great example. Like, no one would want to see somebody play Rogue Trader across 10 to 15 months when there's a million other games going. So yeah, I just never got around to it. Games like that, like the Dragon Age, like Dragon's Dogma is a good example of that, have just become my like offline games, the ones that I will play and enjoy for myself, as it were. But I was going to float this to the group because I thought that it could be quite a funny one, and also you put in as much as you want. I may start up doing a Fallout 76 playthrough, just because of the fact that I really hated that game when it came out. I felt like I was burned so badly but like championing it and just being like, this is going to be my sort of game. I'm going to really get into it. And you know that second phase when they added in all of the Wastelanders, or the NPCs and all that? And everyone was like, oh, it's good now, it's good now. I remember I went back with Osley, re-downloaded it, reinstalled it. I did get my bloody Bethesda net or whatever it was set up specifically for it. And it was garbage still. Just did not get on well with it. And I'm just like, people are now saying, oh no, it's actually good again. I was like, you know what? I may create Stone Cold Steve Scrungo once more to go out into the brink and experience what Fallout 76 in 2024 is like. If you guys would want to see that, or even be a part of it, because it is an MMORPG after all, and I'm pretty sure that you'd be able to find me on there and harass me or guide me through the game, or potential is there for it to be fun, the dip in, dip out thing. Since it's good now, so have you played it? Well, actually, I should do it in your voice, Chris, shouldn't I? Since it's good now. And yes, you can play as a ghoul. I just want to see what all the hubbub is about. Because I watch a content creator on the Fallout side of things called Oxhorn, and he does a lot of Fallout 76 stuff, and I don't get to catch up with his videos as much as I'd like, because I'm only really interested in all the lore stuff that he does, because I just find it fascinating. I saw that he was playing through Fallout 76 again. He was like, yeah, no, there's actually a lot to enjoy now, and I'm like, I don't know, there's enough people saying this is actually good now, maybe I should give it a second chance. Well, actually a third chance in this case. But that's it afterwards. If it burns me again, I'm done. And no matter what additions they put into it, I'll take to the grave it was a bad game. Even if they have like a No Man's Sky return after that, and everyone says you've got to go easy on it, I will say no. 3 strikes and you are out, my friend. That's all you get with me. 3 strikes. I find myself just lost in this hyper glazing mode where I feel like I'm putting paint onto the model, but it's not. It's not appearing. It's just kind of fading into this abyss. It's quite satisfying in a way. I really remember where I have and have not put down paint. Also got to be careful that it's not too thin, because otherwise I'm just going to end up staining. So what I found with glazing the other troll is that it's just, you've really got to focus on where to pull the paint to, and I know that I am not doing as good a job as some of the pros that I watch doing this. This is only the first glaze. We're gonna have to do probably at least 4 more, going slightly lighter each time. Oh, who's come out of the woodwork here? Nah, barely better. Played it on launch, and it's definitely improved, but still far from what it should be. People champion it, are just feeling some sunk cost peppered with Stockholm. Oof. Throwing it down and I'm here for it. I love that you two were burnt, clearly, in the nuclear fallout. But I am going to give it a go. And trust me, I won't pull any punches if it's bad and smelly. I'm going to tell you it's bad and smelly. But I won't just do that. I will make one of those H-Bomber Guy length, hour-long docu-vids on my journey within Fallout. And how badly it hurt me. And how much of a fool I was. Letting them back into my life. PR be damned. If it's a bad game that is showing no signs of improving. Sorry, sir. You're gonna get reckoned with. Oh, he's looking a little bit better. Each time we put on another glaze, another little slap of the pink stuff, he's getting a little bit better. Thing is, though, there's so many scales and bits on his back. It's hard to sort of like get into the crevices, bring out what needs to be brought out. Like I say, I'm having a bloody good time, even though it is just painting increments of pink paint. The same areas over and over again. Bloody good laugh. I'm kind of enjoying the fact that I get to take time with a model. Because sometimes, because of the rather relentless release schedule that GW has, like, you gotta paint quick. You gotta get your models on the table in front of the cameras ASAP. Oh, throws back. The introduction of NPCs was very much needed, and the lessening of bugs make it a much better game and experience. But for me, at least, it was not worth it. I hope I brought your words to life properly with enough gravitas, Deathrow. Right, what do I need to do for this first glaze before I start thinking of adding in more Carrick stone? Just get a few more of these. Just spines from this side is probably a good idea. Getting that finger. Stinky little thing. Done his palm much? Okay, well, that's cats. Who's ready for another layer? Oh, it's this guy. Right. So, we've gone from having a pinky skin to a bit of a lighter skin now. You can still see that the joins are there, and don't worry, we'll go for a final wash. They'll pick them up. But now, see you later, Guardian. Now we're going to add more Carrick stone to this. Do I have a book of strikes? Yeah. It's like Beanie's Book of Grudges. Okay, we've got lighter pink, little by little. Little by little. Okay, right, we are into a lighter glaze. So now what we want to do is focus, pull even further away the recesses. just trying to catch highest bits of it, areas have a little bit more exposure. It's kind of like doing an edge highlight-ish. Feels weird to do this at this stage, but I've been told it all comes together. Yeah, little by little, mate. Little by little, little by little. Just gotta keep going. Just gotta keep trying. Trust the process. Just trust it. Trust it. Seemingly, if we do this, it'll all come together and it'll all look beautiful. Dog told me, at least. And then after this, we do yet another bloody highlight, but that time only focusing on the most raised bits. So we're basically just making definition on top of definition. That is too heavy there, but I'll move some paint around on that one. Sorry, you can actually tell that I'm trying to focus now. I have to water that bit down a bit more. See, I've made like a little blotchy mistake on the top of his bicep there. Luckily we can move some paint around. Is very weird to do this after doing sort of slap choppier style. Again, I think it needs to be even thinner than that. Mad. It's kind of like at this point here, barely any paint on the brush. Even if it's translucent, that is absolutely fine, because we're going to go back with another one later on. Is anyone else painting while they're watching this? Or is it all just chill time? Damn, man, the time's gone so quickly as well. I started late and I thought that I'd actually get a lot more done than I have done here. That's okay. So I can come back and finish off the skin next week. Editing photos, oof. Fun times? Question mark? Stormcast. Oh, nice, Adam. Nice one, man. Also, hello. Hope you're doing well, mate. Working sadly, but this keeps coming. Oh, bless you, mate. Yeah, I don't miss the days of doing any sort of customer-facing job. I guess is this a customer-facing job that I do now? No, probably not. I have to deal with. I do have to deal with negative customers sometimes who say that my takes are bad. I'd much rather have a conversation about video games than doing other stuff like that. Right, okay, on to... Calm down, Jules. Big sloppy brushstroke there. Chill out, dude. That's what I think that you're meant to do after all of this. Once you've got your almost 3 different colours on, I think afterwards you're meant to water down either the highest or the darkest colour, and then do like an overall wash to tie all of the recesses and highlights together. To be honest, I'm only really taking it to the stage that I got to at Doug's. Don't know what happens after this, and I'm scared. He's got a big, big belly. My troll is very smelly. He's a smelly little geezer. You can buy smelly little geezer at all participating gas stations. The egg sings the blues. I drank my paint water. Get his little nose in there. Here we go. Just tickle his nose. I find doing the face really hard because there's so much high and low contrast like everywhere. I don't really... like, I understand in principle what I'm meant to do, but I can't seem to get it unified. Like, I can clearly see where there are the joins in between my last layer. But, you know, I am just doing what Doug told me, to trust the process as well. May not look right now. That's it. It'll all be fine when I'm done with it. I'll make it look good. Hey John, how's it going, my friend? Had another shoot last night, which I hadn't looked at yet, and another one tomorrow. Do you enjoy doing it, though? Nerdy is still at work? Shocking. To be fair. I don't think Have you ever been on one of these streams where you've not been at work? That's why I appreciate it so much that you do tune in. And that's kind of what I really enjoy about this as well. It's like, you know, sometimes you can get streams where people are like very woo, wacky, 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 intense, intense. It's like, it's very draining, both the listener and the person, unless they are a super extrovert. That's just how they roll. I don't want to fake stuff like that just to keep people entertained. I'd much rather do chill streams like this where we can all just relax a little bit. Don't have to worry about being on, as it were. Okay. Come on, brother. Bit by bit. I mean, it's a few stages off looking like the big blue over here. It is getting there. Slowly but surely. He's gonna look like he's a proper nudie Rudy when he's done. Once when you had a week off, yeah, fair enough. And I appreciate that you still tuned in. It's very nice of you. Is anyone playing anything good at the moment? Because, like I said, I'm still going through Rogue Trader on my personals. And what else was I going to start up soon? Oh, of course, yeah, there's the little matter of that Elden Ring DLC that is dropping very soon. So what I'll probably do is... Ugh, I'm a bloody idiot. Probably try and start a new character. And then just get up to the DLC as quickly as I can, try and experience it fresh, because jumping back into a character that I've not played since... coming up to like a year now. I won't have a bloody clue what's going on. I'm going to have to learn the basics again, probably. But I can't wait. It should be another fun time. Getting absolutely battered. I watched Iron Pineapple's like thoughts on the DLC today. And, my god, that guy got me hyped for it. I was just like, this sounds like everything that I want from a DLC. It's just more of the stuff that I absolutely adored, and loads of things that are new to try. It's like, cool, let's go. Get it in my veins. Get it on his bicep. Haven't even done that finger. God dang it. Pretty crazy how many layers you've got to put on this to really start building that smooth transition. You can see now, can't you, why it takes, and this is a very basic attempt at doing it. So like, you can understand if you were entering a competition, you might even spend upwards of a bloody month just getting the skin tone right. It's crazy. And the dedication to do that. Ooh dear, that's way too much. Painting that saucy ankle again. what I do like the most about these, especially this model, is that there's so many different ridges, and like, yeah, it's kind of annoying in some ways because it's like trying to get the shading down right. But it is a really interesting model to paint because of the different textures. Okay, that is another layer on there. It's interesting though, because when I hold it up to the light here, I can see like the transition between the, say, the under bit of the bicep needs work. It's useful to actually look at what the camera sees versus what my eyes are telling me, because it's like it will point out the most glaring of mistakes. Now I can go back to that bit. Just focus, I'm trying to tidy that up. Oh, sorry, I asked a question then. It was like, playing the Warhammer Fantasy MMO and private set. Oh, that is crazy. I didn't even think that thing was still going. You are in deep, my friend, and I love it. Did Josh Strife Hayes do anything on the Warhammer MMO? I know that he does that series on the worst MMOs ever. And he is in fact a big Warhammer fan. I'm surprised that our paths haven't crossed actually, because I do get invited to a lot of like Warhammery events, video game stuff especially. I would have thought that he would have been there. I have yet to meet him. I also really want to play him. I think that for today, probably going to have to leave it there, because I am out of time. I'm out of time, but I do have a wet, smelly boy here, who at least is starting to get some skin on his bones. And then what we'll do next time is we'll finish off the skin, or at least try to. Keep trying to work up the colours on this one too. And if we can get that done, then if they're both excuse me, at the same state, we can then focus on doing individual pieces together, if that makes sense. So it's like we can work on the shoulder pads together because they'll have uniform colours there. We can work on bones, we can work on that, and then that will start speeding up the process a little bit by bit by bit. Aw, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate that, man. It'll get there. It will get there. And as long as they have each other, that's all that really matters, isn't it? Right, my friends, I'm going to bounce off, go get some food, and you know what? I may even sneak a walk in, because it's actually quite warm outside, and I need that sun on my bones. Right, take it easy, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. I'll catch you in a bit. See you later. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, 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 bye. Bye.